Well, it's a beautiful day. The dogs are outside enjoying the day. There's Red over there. Here's Girly underneath the truck. Girly not feeling too well, I don't think, today. She had a vomiting exercise last night. It was pretty bad. I got up at midnight to clean up a huge mess. So, you know, she's old. She's licking her lips. Maybe she needs some water. Maybe after I make the video, I'll get her some water. They stay outside. Water bowl's inside. And Red doesn't come out very often, but sometimes she does. So got this one going. Still waiting on a belt for this one and a spring. They postponed the delivery for the belt. Supposed to get it on the 18th. I think today's the 19th. Now they're saying I'm not going to get it until the Saturday, I guess. But they still haven't shipped it. So I'm kind of worried that they're going to cancel on this one. So what else is going on? Nothing. I haven't gotten any calls. Supposed to be getting a wood splitter here pretty soon from this lady, the lady who's got this one. And they want me to put a Predator engine on it. Predator engine's a Harbor Freight engine. They're pretty cheap. And if I can find one, it matches up. It needs a hydraulic hose also. And so if I find one, I'll change it out. And you know, usually when I have to spend a lot of money on a machine like that, you know, let's say the Predator engine's 200 bucks. I make them buy it. I'll send them a link, say it's all yours, you take care of it. But I think in this case I'm gonna do it. And the reason I say you're gonna buy it, when you get into that kind of money, you're starting to look at, is the machine worth that kind of money? So if somebody said, hey, I want you to spend $200 on one part for this lawnmower, I would get to a point where I'm starting to think, okay, that may be half of the cost of what the lawnmower cost is. So let's say the lawnmower is $200, and after parts and labor, I've got 300 bucks into this. I may say, look, it's easier to, or cheaper to find, or better to find a good running mower on Facebook Marketplace than it is to fix this one up. So if they want to fix it, that's fine. I just like for them to buy the parts. That way, if they decide not to pay, then I can still sell it and still make money off of it. So if they buy the parts, well, the other thing is they're more likely to actually pay up if they've already invested a bunch of money into it. So, you know, but if I spend all the money and I got, you know, $200-300 invested in this thing, and then they don't want to pay, now I got to sell it. Am I going to get the money out of it? I may or may not, who knows? Plus all the time and effort you put into selling it. In the end, you may not make any money. And the thing is, let's say I got $300 invested in this and I'm able to get 500 out of it. Well, I got to give 200 of it to the state automatically. It's their money. So, yeah, it's really not a great option. I mean, think about it. You get stuck with having to store it for a couple months, chasing after the payment, you never get paid, then you have to post it, then you have to sell it, you have to maintain it, keep it up in good shape so it will sell, so the state can take the money. And if they, here's what's really funny, let's say I could sell it for $1,000, and I do. Well, then I got to give more money to the state than what I actually made off the job. I mean, it's free labor for the state. It's a good deal for them. So I'd rather not do it if I don't have to. Got some trash floating around here. It'll end up in the yard. So I find certain channels kind of funny. I try not to fearmonger on this channel. I mean, I've done it a few times as an experiment to see how it would go. I didn't like it. Even though the videos did okay, I didn't like doing it. So I don't. I let this channel suffer because I don't want to fearmonger. So, you know, we've had 4 years of a different political party in the White House. And you hear all these channels talking about how terrible it was. You know, they were every day, oh, the country's coming to an end. We're all going to die. World War III, Civil War, Revolutionary War. I mean, just nonstop. Nonstop. And so they told us for 4 years who we need to vote for. You need to vote for this guy. So the country voted for this guy. They followed the expert's advice. Wait, no, it's just a YouTuber. So they followed this YouTuber's advice who claims to be an expert because, you know, he's so smart, he knows everything, sitting in his recliner, rocking back and forth. You know, whatever. You know, I recognize that I don't have a lot of talent. I just kind of do the things around here that I do, and I try to stay out of the world of stuff, and I might tell you for a short period of time what I'm interested in. I know that the Doge program I was pretty excited about, so I talked about that, but I didn't tell you had to support it. I just liked the idea. I thought it was a great idea. But I don't tell you, you know, the world's coming to an end. As a matter of fact, if you talk about Doge, you know, I was talking about how great it was. Not that, oh no, Doge is going to cause World War III. We're all going to die. So now, the guy that they wanted in office is in office. Since day one, I have heard nothing good about him. It's almost like they changed party affiliations the moment that he got in office. I mean, like him or hate him, I don't know. You know, like this thing that's going over there in the Middle East. I'm trying to be vague because I don't want the algorithm to flag any specific words. Not that I would say anything wrong, but, you know, some words get you less activity. They don't recommend you as much, that kind of stuff. So anyway, what's going on over in the Middle East? Whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. What the guy that's in office promised that he would never go to war. Well, I don't know if that was really a promise. I think he said peace through strength. And, you know, America first and that kind of stuff. I mean, I remember when I was 8 or 9 years old, my dad told me if that country in the Middle East, I mean, I remember this very vividly, ever attacked him, you know, kidnapped him like they did all those people back in '79, that my job was to come and destroy the country. Not to save him, but to destroy the country. That's what he told me. So since '79, I've hated that country. So then you look about, you know, the current president and his stance on that. So since '79, the man who is in office now has said that that country's got to go. I remember back in 2000, and I think 8-ish, he said it. Now, this is long before he had any political aspirations. And he was talking about it. So, I mean, if you're so stupid that you don't realize that that's what he was going to do, not to mention the country in question was plotting to assassinate the man. Look, you know, it's one thing to claim self-defense in the Second Amendment. I'm a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. See, the hypocritical stuff just drives me batty. But then when the President of the United States says, you know what, I'm going to enforce the Second Amendment for my own protection, the protection of the country. Oh no, we can't do that. That's terrible. What is he thinking? Second Amendment only applies to me, not him. I don't know. I just think it's all hypocritical. I don't think that, you know, my gas prices went up. Okay, your gas prices went up. Gotcha. They're not near as high as the peak of the last administration. I looked at the oil prices. I think it was 2022. Oil prices were, I think, 122 bucks or 130 bucks, 129 bucks. And they haven't, I think they've hit 100 this current round. Yeah, they went up, but they also came back down, you know, kind of fluctuating a little bit. But we're still well underneath the prices that we were in the last administration. I don't understand. Oh, we're all going to die. We can't afford the gas prices. What are you talking about? You afforded them for 4 years, and you can't afford, just because they went way low, and you didn't think, you know, there's an opportunity I could save some money in case gas prices go back up because, you know, maybe we go into a conflict or something. So I see it as It's just something to complain about to get clicks. So this one YouTuber today was talking about how we're all gonna die, inflation, inflation, inflation. The only thing you need to be buying right now is non-perishable items, batteries, and you know, he lists off a bunch of stuff, and he talks about hot dogs. I bought the hot dogs that were on sale, and I can freeze those for eternity. And okay, well that's smart, you know. The economy's kind of bad, and if you can buy batteries before they go up in price, I can understand that. But you know, let's not fearmonger. You know, let's not go crazy here. The economy is, you know, no matter what I say here, people are going to disagree with me. But the economy is what it is. The economy has gotten worse since I was a kid. I remember my grandpa complaining back in the 80s. So, no, the economy just keeps getting worse. And it's our own fault. You know, we talk about this $38 trillion in debt. Oh, we're all going to die, $38 trillion. Well, sorry, but there has been one generation that has been in power since, like, the 90s. And they like to be spoiled. So, we're in debt. We went from a savings economy back in the 80s. Everything was savings. I remember my grandparents, my ex-wife's grandparents, they saved back in the 80s. 15% interest rates. Oh, that was fantastic. Everybody was putting their money in the bank. Making tons of money just on interest, on savings accounts. Well, they dropped the interest rates because we became a debt society. Everybody wants to put everything on credit cards. Instead of just paying for your car, let's get a debt. So now we have to have low interest rates. Well, interest rates are up right now, and my money is in savings, and I make money every month. It's like, hey, cool. It's not 15%. I sure like to be back where my grandparents were. I'd like to get rid of this debt society and start a savings society like we used to be in when we were prosperous. So, I mean, we can complain about interest rates and inflation, but we're doing it to ourselves. When you default on a loan, who picks up that money? Where does it? It doesn't just come out of thin air. So somebody files bankruptcy. So the company that is affected by this has to pass that cost on to somebody, otherwise they'll go broke. Who do they pass it on to? You. That's inflation. So yes, it's not a political party's fault. Sorry. Politicians only do what we tell them to do. And since the 70s and 80s, we have told them that we are a debting society. We want credit cards. We want luxury lifestyles. We want big houses. You know, people could say that nowadays houses cost more than they did when my parents and grandparents were growing up. Yeah, but the size of your house is like 3 times the size of your parents or grandparents' house. So, you know, I don't want to hear it. When you hear them say, I deserve a bigger house. No, you deserve what you can afford. That's all you deserve. You don't deserve anything more just because you think you do. You only get what you can afford. So anyways, this guy's talking about inflation. And you know what? At the end of this video, he says, and I have this battery operated generator that you're gonna want to buy. It's an XP6000. Whoa, wait a minute. The economy is crashing. We need to buy hot dogs and batteries, and you want me to spend $2,000 or $3,000 on this piece of equipment so you can make money off of me. Gotcha. It's hypocrisy. And people don't even catch on to it. They don't even see it. They just watch the video and they're like, hey, good idea. Yeah, I'll buy 10 of those. Oh, I'm broke. Now what am I going to do? I know what I'll do. I'll put it on the credit card. Oh, well, I'm never going to convince anybody. Live in a tiny house. Save your money. Don't spend money. Oh, no, you got to buy weed nuts. I told you that story the other day. You know, just stop spending money. Stop. Oh, but I want to live lavishly. I want to live like am free and happy. And you live like slobs. Well, I live within my means. That way, if an emergency comes up, I can afford it. I don't have to worry about the economy. I don't have to worry about being a prepper, because really, no matter what happens, I'm okay. I got what I need. I don't need more. I got it. So if you'll click this up next box, take the video over to my other channel. Really appreciate it. Go check it out. So hope I can inspire you to have what you need. And that's it. So you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.